Welcome to another edition of Make That Change. I'm your host, Himeros, with a special edition of Senior Send Off. I'm here with.
Radina Rusinova.
And it's extra special because this is my dearly beloved, as you would say, foreign exchange student. Would you tell everyone what country you originate from?
I'm from Bulgaria.
Where is that within the world?
That is located in Eastern Europe. Yeah, it's like near Black Sea, near Greece. I bet that's like good enough for everyone to like kind of orientate themselves.
Well, welcome to not only America but also to OSA. So, how was your first year at OSA?
My first year at OSA was really challenging, I feel like I overcame all the challenges and I made really like nice and I bet like long lasting friendships, and I learned a lot from my emphasis and from my teachers like in academics and everything. So I think that was a great year, and definitely there's still some more to come, and like one of the best memories would be out of that year.
You was OSA the type of high school you envisioned American high schools would be?
Definitely not, because I was envisioning exactly what you see in movies, you know. And I did not get that, and the other exchange student got that exact thing. So I was like, hey, like that's not fair. I don't want to do that. Like I want to have sports. I want to have academics. Like I want to do arts, but they can do arts as an elective. Which is, I was kind of sad about that. And the thing is that every exchange student has a different experience based on their location, not only on high school, but if you're in like if you're in Utah, your experience is completely different than if you're in California. And I have a friend that's in Hawaii right now, so her experience is totally different
Wow.
than mine. It just, you know, but I think that I I got the chance to do things that other exchange students they don't, because they're in a normal, regular, stereotypical American high school.
Mm-hmm. How has OSA treated you with, being a foreign exchange student and everything else, as you're also in your senior year?
Oh, they've been pretty nice actually. I think that I would say is a pretty diverse school, if I could say so. And they've been really respectful throughout the whole time, and nobody laughed at me in the beginning if I would like make some mistakes while talking or something like that. My friends would really help me, like, but I was never actually like, I never felt worried to ask questions. Hey, what's that? What's this? Or like, you should like help me a little bit with the slang, because
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier you've learned a lot within production design or OSA that you wouldn't have done for other schools. What are some of those things that you learned?
Well, I learned how to work with lights. I learned how to work with SketchUp, Photoshop. I learned how to use a saw.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to drill things, which actually not a lot of girls like know, not a lot of people in general know. And I feel like that's gonna be beneficial even if I wanna like do something in my home. Not only if I'm gonna be working as that. I also got the amazing chance to do internships at the Fox. My last one was with the vocal show, and the previous one I was working for the set, the building of the set and the sound for Miguel's concert.
Wow.
So that was really amazing.
Would that be like your fondest memory of being at OSA, or what is?
Well, it really depends. If I have to say for like production design, that would probably be like one of the best moments.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had like really great time with like my friends when they would like surprise me for my birthday with like balloons and like flowers, and they baked a cake for me. The cake was really gross, but like just the fact that they actually made it was like, that's what was important.
Yes. What advice would you have for like other kids coming in production design?
Just I don't know. Don't expect anything, and be ready to do everything.
Be ready to do everything. What does that mean?
That means like be open-minded, and don't be like, because in the beginning I was like, hey, I only want to do like set, or I just want to do like costume, but like they don't have costumes anymore, so I was like, I don't think I want to do anything else. I think I just want to paint, because like that's what I'm good at. But then they introduced me to lights. I was doing the video for the vocal show, so that was really interesting as well. So you open to new things, and you find out that like you actually might like those things better.
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious because, you know, you're such a fashionable person. You have all these lovely arts and skills and just things head to bottom to top to toe. Why production design out of all the emphases that OSA offers?
Okay, so I actually, for my future, I want to do fashion merchandising and marketing. And then I actually tried for fashion, but they told me that they have no places, so I couldn't even audition for that. And I wanted to do dance, but they do like only contemporary. I'm more of like a hip hop, and I thought, I'm not gonna fit. So I looked at the other things, and I saw production design because I think that's like the closest thing that would like help me with all the gigs and stuff that we have for like my future career plan.
So when you came, was it you knew you were going to go to OSA and you had to audition for an emphasis, or were there other schools and other options? I'm curious.
They were not other options because I live in Pleasanton, so the schools there are pretty packed and they don't take exchange students, or if they do, they take like one. And most of the schools are really hard to get exchange students into, but like OSA just like needs more kids, so they take exchange students really easily here.
Yes.
I mean, we had like 2 other exchange students
Yes.
rather than me as well.
I miss them so much for one of them. What advice would you give to a foreign exchange student coming into OSA?
I would say that it's gonna be definitely weird in the beginning. No, there's no lie. Because people here are really open, they express themselves really loud, like with everything they do, but they're art, so you can like, you just gotta like get to know them, like not have certain expectations built into your mind. Don't set any expectations for them or for yourself. Just be open to be friends with anyone, not just the type of people that you're friends with back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I tried being friends with the type of people that I would usually be friends back home, but guess what? It did not work actually.
I noticed. I'm just playing. But no, I'm curious. Would you...
Did you get to meet Miguel when you were working on the set?
I actually saw him. Oh, a funny part. Okay, so he had this big like drape that we used for his set, and it was like hairy, it was like flurry hair. I don't know how to say that, and like the hairs were like really really long, so it was like tangled. And one of the guys gave me like a hairbrush to comb the whole thing, and it's like huge because it was like covering like the whole stage or something. So I had to comb that myself. And then we had like lunch down with the people from the with the people that were working there. So I was sitting and there was like this guy who's like, hey, can I like come sit here with you? And I was like, okay, great. And like he sat and like we were talking and I thought like he's working there. And I started complaining about having to like brush that thing. I'm like, that's so ugly. Like my grandma has something like that laying on her bed. And he laughed with me. He's like, you know what? I don't really like it either. He's like, okay, I got work. I gotta go. And I walk out and I start walking. I see so many journalists and like fans being there and like Miguel. And I see a guy and he looks like really familiar, but he's like dressed really nicely. He has like those Gucci sneakers with like diamonds on them and stuff. And I was like, oh my god. And he's like, oh hi. And I'm like, oh my god. And it turned out that he's one of the DJs that was like warming up for him and singing as well. And I was complaining how ugly the set is to him. So I got to meet people, and I saw him as well, and it was really good. I also hung out in the backstage while they were performing, so just to feel the energy was great as well.
So you've had, because I remember from this experience and some other things, you've had like quite an American dream while being here. You've done some pretty big, extravagant things at your time at OSA.
Yeah, I feel so. I feel like the thing is, I literally like came here by myself with like no one, with no friends, with no family or something like that. And I mean, I can't say that I've done like great things. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's still a lot to come, probably, hopefully. But I feel like I've done pretty good, actually. And I'm kind of like proud of myself because like as an exchange student, you definitely go through like a depression at certain points, especially around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. If you celebrate Christmas, you know, just like. Yeah.
So where are you gonna go next year after you leave OSA? Where are you going, and what are you gonna do?
So I'm going back home, and I'm gonna be a senior again because you guys here start school a year earlier. So because of my age, I'm a senior, but I'm supposed to be a junior. So I'm going back, and I'm a senior again because I missed my junior year, and I'm taking my test this summer. So I'm gonna be a senior twice, and I'm graduating actually twice because I'm walking the stage with the seniors now. So I'll be in high school again.
How do you feel about that? Never getting to do your junior year, having to be a senior
Never
twice,
being a junior.
and being a senior twice.
I feel it's a challenge because you have to like grow up a little bit faster to just like fit the stage where those people are, because I'm a senior here, but I'm not an English speaker. So I have to fit with like their knowledge, not only in English but like in other subjects as well, and kind of like keep up with what's going on. And then I gotta go back home again, and I missed a lot of things as well. And then I gotta go like keep up with them as well.
Is there anything from production design that you think you're gonna like maintain or keep over when you go back home, that you're gonna like use those skills, or like any attributes from OSA you're gonna put into?
I'm gonna use all the skills that Mr. Vaughn taught me, and I would definitely like to keep my good relation with him and with all the other students from the emphasis. And I feel that just me knowing him and John, and having those connections might like really help me for my future as well. Just the portfolio that I can make out of the things that I have done, all the gigs that I've done. I mean, I have at least 4 coming up to the end of the year, so.
I'm curious, is there anything like socially or culturally that like you learned in America that you'll wanna do, like bring, or like to your friends in Bulgaria, or like show them, or like introduce, like any new mindsets or ideas?
Maybe more acceptance, because like as we're Europeans, so we're kind of a little bit closed-minded. I thought I'm really big liberal, but when I came here, I saw that I'm actually not. So I'm just more open-minded right now, and I would like to really bring that, just bring like awareness and understanding.
Oh, that's very beautiful to hear. But of course, next year you have your senior thing, but after colleges, Mary, are you gonna come back to America? You're gonna stay in Europe? What's the big decision?
So I was looking at colleges actually yesterday, and unfortunately, I mean, I really would love to come back to California, but unfortunately, some of the UCs don't give scholarships to international students, and the tuition starts from like $50,000 a year, and in my currency, that's almost double. So imagine like paying $100,000 a year. That's like a lot, and my parents can't afford that, and I don't want to make them feel guilty that they can't pay for me. So if I'm not able to get like a big scholarship, then I guess I'm gonna try Europe, because we get more fundings from there. But I'm looking at universities, as I said, with fashion, merchandising, advertisement, and stuff like that.
Fashion, advertisement. What's I keep hearing fashion again. What's like your draw, or like what's drawn you to fashion, or like what's like your inspiration?
Well, I've always been like drawn into like all these beautiful clothes, the runway shows and everything, and I used to draw, but I realized that the thing is with me is that if I want to do something, I want to go big, and it's really hard to be a designer and like become like famous and really successful while you're like still alive, because most of them are like already like dead, or like old, like all the big fashion houses and everything. So I still want to be in the business, and I know like few languages. Like I understand, I'm really good with languages, and I would love to travel. So I feel like the work of just like being like a PR for for a fashion company would like really give me those opportunities to travel and meet with people. And then if I actually want to do something on my own, then I already have the connections that I have established, and I can do something.
If you could leave your legacy at OSA, what would it be? When people want to think about Radina as she leaves, what would you want people to think about?
I don't know. Legacy, that's a really tough word. I feel like I'm too young to still have a legacy. I would want them to, they're all like, hey, we should keep in touch. And I'm like, if it's up to us. If we want to, we'll keep in touch. So I don't want to leave a legacy yet, because I don't feel like me leaving is actually going to mean that I've left. like forever. I think that it's just like, you know, it's a small world. We're gonna meet again, and I don't need to like leave a legacy just because I'm going back to Europe. You know, I'm gonna be back, or you guys can come visit. You know.
Of course, of course. And I want to thank you, Radina, for everything you've taught me in these last months, from the outside experience that you brought into my life. And thank you, everyone, to listening to this extremely, very special edition of Make That Change. Again, I've been with this gorgeous model. Your name?
Radina.
From?
Bulgaria.
On Senior Send-Off of Make That Change. I'm Himeros on KOSARadio.org, where minds, words, music, and rhymes meet.